Today we're going to do a slab constructions cut demo with patterns. Here's all different variations of patterns. So patterns, you would be surprised that all the patterns come from variations that you can think of. You know, like brushes will give you a nice patterns. Okay, so we'll give you a variation of patterns. You can have the net, these, if you put it on the surface, actually give you a nice pattern too as well. So you can see the variations. I mean, you can quite see it very well. But just think about when you start making a pattern, because a good thing of a pattern, the glaze can coat it over with your crevices, and then will create a very nice glaze break. So that's the reason that you want to give a little textures. So sometimes students, you know, didn't know where to find the patterns, like these kind of prints that you can do, or you can take a rope and then kind of bang it on the surface, or as simple as I'm going to show you using a ruler that also can create the pattern. And I also make my own pattern stamps. Basically, I'm just taking a lump of clay, okay? So you can do a lump of clay like this, flatten the top just a little bit, and then you can print it on anything right there, and you, like that. Can you see that? Okay, now you just fire this in the bits, and you got a whole bunch of pattern right there. You know, like these, and all kinds of variations that you can try right here and all that. So, you know, don't feel intimidated. It was like, where am I gonna find a nice pattern to work for your surface decorations? You know, so here you go. Got a little hairs on here. That's no good. Okay, like that. Okay, let's see. I don't have much on my. Let's see what can we do. Oh, we can actually take one of these right here and print it. And that's a nice pattern right there. And fire them up with the bits, and you're gonna collect a whole bunch of pattern that you can use on your surface. Okay, so again, we're gonna talk a little bit of that. Now I'm going to make a cup. So usually the cup, I need to start with the stencil. And so here's another folder right in here. And I gave myself right in here, that's width is 1.3 inches. That means the width of your cup. After you roll them together like this is gonna create a 1.3, 1.5 inch diameter. And the height is 4.5 on this line. So you can have a little more right there if you like. So this is a slab that we roll. I'm gonna kind of clay it up right here, and so we can start with a decorations, okay? So I'm gonna put this aside. So first you roll out a piece of a clay, okay? So once you've done that, you can use rolling pin, which you can flatten it out, okay? Of course, not everybody has a rolling pin, but you have a kitchen rolling pin too as well. Well, this one right here is actually a Costco saran wrap inside middle. They are very, very strong, and you can use this as well, okay? If you notice, when I'm doing rolling the slab, it's really nothing happening. It's because the clay is stuck underneath it. So it's better if you have that piece of a canvas that I gave you, you can kind of hold it like this, and you fold it, and then you open it up. And so that's how you, there's a little piece of clay, dry clay right here. So that's how how you you can do your rolling. See, now the clay's clay can kind of stretch a little bit, okay? And I think if I have a little long things, I'm curious, probably not. If I have a little long dolly in there, I can use it. Nope. It's very hard. Bad idea. Hey, at least I give it a shot. I give it a try. Okay, here you go. All right, so now I'm going to cut a piece. Okay, I'm gonna cut a piece of a clay so I can, I already have everything laid out and I couldn't find it. All right, so I'm gonna go get a, so after I roll it out, I'm gonna cut a piece, maybe the size like this, because this one is about, so I'm gonna take this and I'm not gonna use this. Okay. All right, so if you look at it, this is like a 1/4 inch thick. That's, for me, it's a little thick. Okay, so what I will do is I will using, this is actually an ink. You can use these, small roller. And then I will turn them. Okay. Or you can close this. And then flip it. Do that. Or I'm gonna do this. So I kind of stretch even longer and a little thinner. Remember your clay shrink about 16 inches. I mean 16%, 16 inches. So I want to say this is a less than a 1/4 inch. Not looking pretty good. I'm going to bring out my stencil because I want a 3.5. So roughly right there. Okay. Right there. I'm going to cut it like that. Okay. This side, what I will use is I will create a bottom. Remember, you need a bottom. So make sure that when you're starting, you need to save one for bottom. Okay. So this one, I'm gonna come down right in here. Maybe give it one more roll. I'm gonna roughly like this. You know, I'm not like very particular. So, okay. So I can create some pattern. This pattern right here, basically I'm just use this roller right there, kind of roll over. And then I scrape off some, okay? This one right here, you can use the ruler, kind of hit across like that, okay? So it's just basically doing this. So I'm going to take this one. What I would do is, I think it's still big because after I stretch it, feels a little wider than I need it. So I'm gonna cut it right here. Get rid of that. And then it's a little longer than I need, but that's okay, like this. Right. All these clay, make sure that you save them because you might need them. Now you have to kind of determine, okay? If you cut straight, the clay will stay straight. But if you cut slightly taper, the clay kind of goes in just slowly. So now I'm have to decide, I'm gonna use this side right here. I'm gonna slightly taper just a little bit. So what I will do is I'm using this little nice little roller right here to kind of flatten the edges right here. The reason is because when you make cups and then the edge is a little thin, so allow you to drink easily. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna go with that right here. And now this is pretty good. What I will do is I will roll them up. Whoa, this is a gigantic cup right there. Big, you know, huge latte. All right, so what I will do is right here, can you see? Okay, so that's the cup. So I'm gonna let them dry just a little bit. In here, I set up a little slip. So here you go, I'm gonna pick up some slip. Right here is on the slip. If you can see it, I'm gonna turn them a little bit. I'm gonna open them up. I'm gonna join like this. around. Taper on the bottom. Okay, here you go. And dry a little bit so you can see the edges right in here. I'm gonna go in to clean them a little bit. So actually visually look very, you know, a little thinner, but the clay is actually pretty thick. And then I need enough clay for the bottom, okay? Wow, this is gonna be a big cut. Okay, go down just a little bit more. All right, so here is the body, okay? Then right now, how do you make the handle? I'm gonna, so again, I'm gonna go back. This is the cup that I'm making. So I need the bottom. I also need the handles, okay? So what I do is I will make the handles using coil, okay? I can use this, but you know, I like a little thicker on the top. So what I would do is I'm gonna take this. Okay. I'm gonna push it down. Flatten just a little bit like that. Once I did that, I'm going to thin out just a little bit. Right here, okay? This is gonna be my handle, but I'm gonna make it a little thinner by dropping my clay down and pull away like this. So stretch even more. Okay. Then I'm gonna come back here. So again, the purpose of this is you can see the edge looks really thin, but the middle is a little thick. So that give a little meatier feeling when you make the handle. And then, so this is very easy way to make them and has a little groove. And now I'm just gonna curve it like that. And then I'm dry it like that. So they make it nicely curved, the hand building one, okay? Now, once you let them dry a little bit, because right now everything is so wet, so what you can do is I'm gonna take a tool to kind of go inside. So what you can do is using this roller right here, you can put it against it and you kind of compress a little bit. Now you can use this to compress too by rejoining them together. So you got a pattern create all the way around, all the way to the bottom. Okay, and then you have this as a resistance. Right? Okay. Then you're gonna go in with the tool. You can smooth inside, but right now again still a little wet, so I'm gonna wait. Okay, sometime good thing come with a good patience, so you just wait a little bit. Okay, so I'm gonna take this to the side. I'm gonna move this right here, and I'm going to wait. Of course, the edge right here, I'm gonna clean them later. All right, I'm gonna let them be like that. So this one I already made earlier, so it kind of dried out a little bit. So what I would do is I'm gonna assemble for you, okay? So this one's slightly stiff, but not as stiff as I want it. Okay, so again, at least that's about, 20 minutes longer than that. So I'm gonna put this right here. I'm gonna go back like this. So I'm doing this to compress even more. I'm using the tool kind of smooth out the inside as much as you can. Okay, so that looks pretty good. As you can see, right there, joined it pretty good. Okay, you can determine if you want a perfect circle or you want to taper just a little bit. It's all look good, depends on your preference. Okay, now I'm gonna take this. So you can see this is my slab right here. Okay, so I'm gonna bring this in. Okay, so I did have a little clay ready. This is the one. Okay, so I'm gonna take this. This is gonna be my base, okay? So make sure kind of slightly compress a little bit. Okay, so this is the fun part of join, okay? So these are the slip. You already know slip is made out of water, right? And so right now, I'm putting a small layer of a slip right here. So to put on the very wet slip, wet clay, you need to flip the day over, you need to score and slip on the top. It's just too much work for me. So what I would do is I could take this, I'm gonna bring it right here, which is a thin layer of a slip that I already prepared. And now look, I already have some slip that I pick up on the bottom. I'm gonna bring it right here. And then I'm gonna push it down, right there. Here you go. Okay, so that's how kind of cut it. And then I'm gonna go ahead, cut a, it's really important. I'm gonna bring it a little closer for you then. I already showed you the trick. So right here, I'm going to cut a 45-degree angle in here and leave a little overhang on top like that. So you can see, I'm gonna cut this off for you so you can see it. Okay, so you can see the edges, actually kind of bevel it in one more time, right there, you see it? Okay, now I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna cut a 45-degree angle into the base of my cup. I'm gonna go down right here, okay? Once you cut there, you can simply just take this out, boom, done, okay? So again, this is gonna be on the side. I'm gonna bring a little closer. Can you see that little overhang right there? I love those. So right now, what you can do is, you're going to gently, again, one more time. Do you see all those overhang? The clay kind of slightly overhang. So because the overhang, I'm gonna fold them up and gently rolling like this. So they will attached on the edges. You see? I'm gonna do it right here, just a little bit more. Yeah. See right now? Those I think is lovely, you know. I love them just because I think it's nice. I want people to see the process of making. I don't care. I don't mind if they see there's the edges. It's like, that's a character. Okay, so I can do that. If you like it, you also can using your canvas, kind of gently pushing in like this too. Okay. So again, on the edge, you can take this and gently push it in. And inside, I'm gonna clean up just a little bit, you know, because some of the large slip, but maybe not yet. I'll wait until it even dry, just even more, okay? So I'm gonna bring just slightly closer to you so you can see now the edge is kind of folded up. I think that is beautiful right there. It's like, hey, here's a handmade cup. I'm not trying to tell you this is not the handmade cup. Yeah, you see? Okay, so once this is done, I think this is still slightly wet. You know, the reason that I know it's slightly wet is because look, they still kind of dance a little bit. If they are dry, a little drier, they will be a little harder to move, okay? But since this is a demo and it's already 20 minutes, so what I would do is I'm gonna bring the handle that I just made earlier, then I determine where do I want them, okay? You can put it this way, you can put it this way. So for me, you can see right here, the top is a little thicker and the bottom is a little thinner. So I like that beefiness right there. So what I would do is I'm going to cut a slightly slanter this way. I'm gonna do it like that. Let me see right here. Okay, so you can see the edges is slightly center, okay? So you can see here is a triangle, can you see? Okay, the edge is thin, but the middle is thick. I'm gonna take this, I'm gonna put it right there, boom, like that. And I think that will look good, okay? So then I need to, score and slip, okay? So make sure that you use the needle tools to create some sort of surface, okay? A little thicker, and some people has a little deeper, okay? Like that, you see? Okay, and the bottom too as well. On this side, so again, see, this is inside and this is scoring here and here. And then I'm gonna put it right here, that's how they work, yeah? So I'm gonna take this right here. Here is my slip. I'm gonna lay it on here. And I'm gonna lay a little bit right here. Okay. Now I'm gonna see where is a good spot for me to put my slip right here. I think that looks pretty good. Okay. So this is excellent right there. So what I would do is I'm gonna take this and then tap it here and tap it here. So that two spot is where I'm going to put my handle. So I'm gonna score and slip again. Okay, you see right there, score and slip again. And I'm gonna put the slip right there, okay? Now this time I'm gonna wedge it, support inside. Okay, I'm gonna bring it a little closer so you can see. As a matter of fact, okay. Okay, here you go. I'm gonna take this, go and see where is it? That's where my score and slip, and that's my handle. I'm gonna push it right here in the angle. Don't put it like this. Put a little bit more like this so it's more surface to join. So I'm gonna push it against my wall right there. Again, this clay slightly wet, but that's okay. That's okay. Okay, so now I'm gonna push this up right there. Okay, like that. So that's almost like a 2-finger, 3-finger handle. That would be decent, okay? So I have a nice curve. So I'm going to, and make sure that you always come to the front and look at it, make sure they're not crooked. So here you go, that's really good. So I'm seeing that's very straight, okay? So I'm gonna push on the bottom, okay? Instead of pushing on the bottom using my hand, I'm gonna use a stamp, okay? So I'm gonna push it right here. So I'm gonna come to you right here, Yeah, see, I've never used this one before. So I'm gonna inside hand support it because I need some sort of pressure. Okay. Oh, good enough. Yes. Okay, here you go. Okay. Now, this, I'm just gonna leave it. I'm gonna come back, clean everything when they stiffen up a little bit. Okay? So, that's it. Here's your slab construction cup. Okay.